make sure you got a great mentor. Make sure you got a great mentor, somebody who can show you what you need to do, get your mind right so you can go out there and kick some ass and create some phenomenal success. Those are the three most important hacks I can give you and your superpreneurs.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life who want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Our guest takes us on a captivating journey through their origin story, from immigrating to a new country to witnessing the struggles faced by their homeland. They share how these experiences shaped their perspective on freedom, entrepreneurship, and helping others. Join us as we uncover the mindset shift from selling to serving, the power of caring for people, and the transformational impact it has had on their life and business. Tune in for an inspiring conversation that will motivate you to embrace your own story and make a difference in the lives of others. Get ready to be inspired and motivated to make a difference in your own life. Let's jump right in with Nicky Billou. So Nicky, tell us a little bit about yourself. Walk through, let's take a walk down memory lane and rediscover your origin story. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Absolutely. I'm actually originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. And when I was 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution happened in Iran. And my late father, God rest his soul, could tell that this was not going to be a great place anymore to raise his family. So he got us out of Iran. He brought us to Canada. And Iran went from basically a benign dictatorship to an absolute tyranny. So it was a good move on my dad's part.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been following international news about what's going on in Iran with this young woman, Mahsa Amini. She was beaten to death by the morality police for the crime of being outdoors with her hair uncovered. Ouch. It's a crime in Iran if you're a woman to go outside with your hair uncovered and your skin showing. And there's been all kinds of protests ever since. I'm a believer in freedom. My father was a believer in freedom. He was an entrepreneur. He liked to help people. He uplifted people. Yeah. If he knew you and you were looking for work, he'd get you a job. If you were looking to start a business, he'd help you start a business. Even if you were going to compete with him, he didn't care about that. He just wanted to help people. And if you worked for him and you wanted to buy a car or a house or an apartment and you didn't have quite enough money, he would top you up and make sure you got that car, that house, that apartment. You might go, what? Who does that? The late, great Napoleon Billou, for one. And why would he do that? First of all, he was a Christian. He was a man who believed God had blessed him, and it was his duty to share those blessings with others. But secondly, he did it because he could. He was successful. He had the money. And I wanted to be like that. I wanted to help people too. And that's how come I became an entrepreneur. And I got into the helping world of entrepreneurship, providing services to help other entrepreneurs be successful. And that's my back and origin story, as it were.
That's back and origin story, man. I love that. That's so beautiful, because no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, no matter what your beliefs are, we're all the same, right? We're all the human beings. We all go see the same doctor, the same dentist, the same podiatrist. Yeah. We're all exactly the same. So there's no difference other than our mindset and our philosophy. And who we are in helping others. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you so much for sharing
100%,
that.
brother.
What kept you going and inspiring you? So your dad was a huge inspiration, a huge motivation, and he created an environment that you grew up in that you wanted to be exactly what he was doing, helping others. What kept you going and being like, hey, this is what I want to continue to do, and what made out of it?
Great question. Number one is I was like looking at people when I got into the space of helping entrepreneurs. And I saw there were a lot of good people that got into business. You know what I mean? They had big hearts. They wanted to make a difference for people. They were not business people and they were
No.
scared of selling. They looked at selling as bad, as being pushy, being salesy. Oh my God, no, I don't want to do that. Don't want to read
Yeah.
the commission breath. So they wouldn't get business they should be getting, man. And that hurt them. That hurt their families. It hurt their potential clients who wouldn't get a good person helping them. And I saw this and I thought, whoa, man, I can help these people. Because as a coach, your job is first to help people get their mind right. When they get their mind, then you can give them the right tactics. Without their mind being right, though, nothing's going to work. So I thought we got to help people reframe selling to serving. Nobody wants to be sold. You don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. But
No,
people
we
want to be
love buying
served
stuff
by a
though.
good person. We
Mhm.
care about that. So that's what I did. So I help people reframe selling to serving. That double, triple, quadruple people's income right there. That powerful mindset shift. My father used to say to me, this is about people, not money, bro. This is about people, not money, not numbers. And I was like, wow, man, dad was right. It's about people. That's a human being in front of you, man.
Mhm.
You're somebody's son, somebody's brother, someone's husband. It's all about making a difference for you.
Yeah.
Not about how much money I'm going to make, but can I help you? If someone's sitting in front of me and they're like hurting, it's my job to try to make a difference for them, not try to get money from them. That's just a horrible way to think and live. Feels yucky. And
Yeah.
that's why we think of it as service, not selling.
I like that so much because just recently I got to listen to Eben Pagan, and he was talking about how he got to meet Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. And he asked them both the same question, asking them first. He talked to Bill Gates, asking him, hey, Bill, you've created a ton of products, a ton of successful products. And Bill's, not all of them were successful. But what I did learn is that you got to build something yourself, and then you got to hire the right people to build the other products. It's like, all right, thanks. That's pretty practical. Got to go build teams. Then he goes to Steve Jobs and asks him, hey, Steve, you've built a lot of amazing products. What have you learned? And Steve's, not all of the products were successful. But what I learned is we just have to care. We just have to care. And I'm like, that's so true. We all want to be cared for. We all want somebody else that takes care of us. And not just in a way that you take care of a child, but in a way that you take care of your friend, take care of your sibling, or take care of another human being.
1000%, man. You got to care. You got to be curious. You got to have concern for people. Curiosity, caring, and concern, man. You got to be curious enough to figure out what people are dealing with. You got to care enough to want to do something about it. And you have to have enough concern to take the right steps to be of service to people. The great American poetess, Maya Angelou, one of her poems, she said, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah. I love that. Dude, that's sending chills down my spine right now. Make them feel. They're not gonna forget how you made them feel.
No, sir. No.
So Nicky, you've written 8 books. You're number 1 best-selling author of 8 books. Some of the top 10 iTunes podcast hosts, Millionaire Maker as your podcast. What was the first insight into saying, okay, I want to create a podcast that's sharing people sharing with people what I've learned? Or how did it all come about?
So I have a coach, and my coach told me, go make a podcast. And I finally listened. That's basically how the podcast came about.
Okay.
And here's the deal. A few years ago, I went through a rough life experience. I was married, and my wife didn't want to be married anymore. I was shocked. I was completely shocked. Maybe I shouldn't have been in retrospect, but I was. And my business tanked, and I was sleeping on my mother's couch.
Mm.
That's how bad it was, right, for me. And here's what happened, bro. I went to a conference, and I saw this man deliver a talk, and it just spoke to me, resonated, right? And when his talk was over, I walked up to him and I started talking to him. I told him my story, and he listened. And then I was saying, I think I want to hire you. He's like, okay, but here's the deal. My minimum fee is $5,000 US for 5 hours of my coaching. I don't offer any guarantees or any refunds, and I need to get paid upfront in advance. I was like, whoa. I don't have money, man. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And he said to me, okay, I'm gonna give you some free coaching right now. I'm like, okay, free coaching, bring it. He said, doesn't matter. It doesn't? Because I thought that was the only thing that mattered. Money. He says, no. What matters is, how bad do you want change? How bad do you want change? You've been in this crappy situation for a long time. How much longer do you want to stay in it? And I was like, no more. I don't want to be in this situation any longer. He said, and if you don't want to be in this situation any longer, then you will find a way to come up with the money to pay me. You have to get resourceful. It's like, all right. That's what Tony Robbins said. You got to be resourceful. It doesn't matter how much resources you have. It matters how resourceful you are. So
yeah,
here's what happened. I said, all right, give me a couple days. I used to be a personal fitness trainer back then. So I approached a couple of folks that I've been talking to. We were just going back and forth about whether to work each other. And I went with some urgency, and I said, hey, good news. You're fat and you need to lose weight, and I'm broke and I need money. So I'm going to give you a deal of a century, half price. But here's the catch. You got to say yes now and pay me right away. So what's it going to be? And they said, okay. They gave me $1,000 each. It was great. We got started. So here's what happens, right? I go see this guy. I made an appointment with him. I was really proud. I dropped down $2,000 on the desk. He goes, I said 5,000.
That's not 5,000.
And I said, okay, hold on a minute. How many people have you given this little speech to that you just gave me? He said, over the years, 30, maybe 40. All right. Besides me, who else came back with any money? He said, oh, you're the first. I am. I said, all right, then, take my money. We'll sign a contract, pay the rest in 30, 60 days, whatever the case may be. And he said, okay. And I paid him back within 30, 60 days. And I made $100,000 in 6 months. 100,000. 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, why? Because I got resourceful.
So resourceful.
You want to be successful in business. Let's say you want to make $100,000 in the next 30 days or $1 million in the next year. You must first be decisive. You must make a decision. I will do this. Can't be kicking the tire. Maybe I'll think about it. No, I will do this. To decide is to cut off all alternatives. I will do this. Second, you must be committed. It can't be, I'll try it out. Let's see how it goes. No, I'm in it to win it. I'm willing to be bad before I'm good. I will do it. Then you got to be coachable. You have to take coaching. Then you have to be resourceful. You have to pay your coach. You have to pay for the things you need to do in order to be successful. You have to spend time and energy, resourceful. Decisive, committed, coachable, resourceful, brother. That's the big four. You do those four, you will win. You don't, you will yours. Victory is assured or defeat is your destiny. You choose.
Man, that is a very powerful story. I love it.
Straight up awesome, isn't it?
Straight up awesome. Holy smokes.
You brought Nicky Billou on your show, man. You brought the guest.
I got Nicky Billou on the show, and he's gonna bring Nicky Billou. Come on, what's up?
Straight up awesome, straight up fabulosity, straight up great guest. I bring it to help you and your people get fired up and take things in their soul and win with it.
It's very powerful stuff. And you see me darting my eyes looking over here, and there I've got a problem. I've got a little bit of problem, and that is I need to go pick up some milk for my wife, because you're holding me up. I gotta make some lasagna, and that lasagna getting dried up. So I'm like, all right, I gotta record this episode with Nicky Billou. So give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get the milk. So apologize for that. Nicky.
It's all good, bro.
You've done some amazing things. You've helped 80 plus people. I think it's probably more than 80 people add 6 to 8 figures into their income, which is fantastic. Your story with the coach that you met, you're the only person who came back with 2K. That's a pretty awesome speech, right? Because most people will probably have the money. I'm like, all right, thanks, but I'm not resourceful enough to go get the money and hire you as a coach. Showed him.
Exactly, brother.
All right. What I like to do is these little stories and walkthroughs really help me see from a perspective that I guess only I see, but it really helps me put in the formula of what enabled you to even get here, right? I see you've got a ton of books. You're an amazing book reader, right? Extracting knowledge from amazing speakers and authors. What kept you going now that you've got this coach and he said, hey, you got to go and do this, build a podcast? I'm sure he also told you to go write the books. What was that? How did that feel? How did that feel when you actually went out and do the things he asked you to do?
Everything he told me to do worked. It worked. I got my business, it grew. I got paid. Everything he told me to do made sense. So it felt great.
Yes.
It felt great. That's why you got to have a good coach you trust. Somebody who knows what to do and how to win today. Not somebody who's going to give you some bull crap that worked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Someone will tell you what'll work today and give you the right mindset so you can win.
I love that. All right, Nicky, we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, you're going to share 5 hacks to take away. Sorry. After the break, you're going to share 3 hacks to take away. Sound like a plan? Awesome. I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that will reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Hey guys, we've been talking with Nicky Billou, an amazing human being, a coach, an author, a podcast host, and somebody who loves to help people get to 6 to 8 figures. He is the millionaire maker, and I'm so glad that I got to meet him and get to talk with him, because guess what we all want to be, right? We all want to get to that $1 million. I had a guest earlier on the podcast, and when he was a child, he wanted to be a millionaire. So I was like, do you have a date written down on the calendar when you're going to be a millionaire? And so I'm about to put that down. So Nicky, share three hacks to take away for the superpreneurs listening to this episode.
Number one, your message probably sucks. Tighten it up, dial it out, so people know why they should work with you. And your message should be all about how you help people, not how great you are. It's number one. Number two, make sure you're charging appropriately, not too little. Most people charge too little. When you charge too little, you hurt your client, because your client won't get the result they're looking for when you charge too little. You got to charge enough so they show up and you got leverage on them so they do the work. It's number two. Number three, make sure you got a great mentor. Make sure you got a great mentor, somebody who can show you what you need to do, get your mind so you can go out there and kick some ass and create some phenomenal success. Those are the three most important hacks I can give you and your superpreneurs.
I love it. Thank you, Nicky. All right, we're going to jump into some rapid fire questions. These questions are fun. Number one, what is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
Stamp collecting.
Stamp collecting. I collected some stamps at one point a long time ago. I don't know where that collection is now, but that is a really fun hobby for sure. Number two, what did you want to be when you were a child?
A general in the army.
A general.
To fight communism.
Yes, we all need to do that, man. We all need to do a little bit of that. All right, next one. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Rocky.
Oh my God. I was just watching Rocky 5. And it was a really interesting scene. I don't remember if it was when he went to visit this ice rink, and they had broken down the ice rink, and that was the dream, right? And this guy was like, "Don't live in the past, Rocky. You're stuck in the past. You need to come into the future." That's like, that was really something else.
That's awesome.
All right, Nicky, next question. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
Same one, Rocky. I'd be Rocky.
Rocky, yes. Nicky is Rocky. And you got a name that rhymes with Rocky. How about that? Question number 5. Who is your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Batman. Yes, he is amazing. Number 6. If you were a board game, what would it be?
Chess.
Strategic Batman. Game. Yes. Strategic Batman who loves to play Rocky. And lastly, where can the superpreneurs listening here find you, my friend?
Anywhere on social media, on Amazon, under Nicky Billou. But if they want a real talk about how they can get their mind to grow their business, ecircleacademy.com/appointment. Book yourself a complimentary success coaching call. And let's get it going. Let's not stay stuck anymore. Let's move you forward.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nicky. This was a pleasure and loved listening from the legendary Nicky. Thanks again, and we'll catch you.
Have me on the show, brother. It was fun.
That's right.
You're awesome.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode on Hacks and Hobbies. We absolutely appreciate your contribution. You can find additional notes on hacksandhobbies.com. Please share the podcast with your friends and tell them what you learned about our guest today.